everyone. Welcome to the Vegan Stew. It's been a little bit since we've been live, but here we are. It is July, and we have a topic of beauty without the beast, which will be fun. And if you don't know what that means, it's having beauty products or the products you have in your house that you use that are cruelty free, that don't use animals in any form or manner. So it's I guess a lighter topic tonight, but we're really good at making topics not so light. So we'll see what happens. And let's say thank you to our new sponsor because it's July and it's Organic Motherland Foods. They are local to me in the Triangle, and they make an incredible ginger lemonade. Like absolutely amazing. So if you're around here, if you go check them out, I'm pretty sure they'll ship and it's definitely worth it. And then if you'd like to win prizes, you can go to virtualvegfestlive.com and hit the contest tab. And again, we have 12 prize packs up for grabs by just doing our wish pond. And those prizes are from Hodo Foods, Bernie Wilds, Total Body Lab, Kathy Hester, Cinnaholic, BV Kids, Veg Key, Dojo Fresh, Bitchin' Sauce, Fabulous, Terra Seed, and Trupo Treats. Now, oh, hey, Steven. Thanks for tuning in from downstairs. That's awesome. Let's see. If you have any questions or you have any comments, we love when you participate in the show. So please do. And it sometimes sends us on a completely different tangent. So bring it on. That's amazing. And then if you're on Virtual Veg Fest YouTube, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. And you can also do that with the Vegan Stew. So let's see. I'm going to get us started. We have Ellen Jaffe Jones, the Veg Coach, sponsored by Get Set Up at the games that she's going to tell us about, I'm sure. And we've got Marla Rose from Vegan Street, dealing with trolls. I saw people coming to Vegan Street on Facebook and saying, "Why are you posting about vegan stuff?" I don't know. Okay, so there we go. And we've got Sovereign from Morel and Morning.
Hello.
Yay! Welcome, Sovereign. So glad. I believe that Kelly is dealing with, in Canada, a tornado warning, possibly no power, and that sucks. But maybe if things come together, Kelly might pop in. But for now, this is your Stew Crew, and it's been a few weeks. And what has happened that we can talk about?
Well, speaking of tornadoes, so I'm at the National Senior Games in the Pittsburgh area, and so I got a rental car and was driving along and just getting a map destination, and it said, "We're taking you along a route that doesn't have flash flood warnings." I'm going, oh boy, can I say that? So I did, and when there weren't flood warnings, then the GPS took me along those roads, spectacular, beautiful hills, but there are clear cutting woods here to build homes. And it's no wonder that, you've got like these waterfalls cascading everywhere, creating these problems. And then today, as I'm sitting in my hotel room, icing my quads, there was a CNN story about how the coral reefs are dying off the coast of Florida big time because the water is historically hot, along with the historically hot temperatures that are like breaking records day after day now as we cook up this planet. And so what was their answer? Nobody said go vegan, which just like I'm screaming at the TV. And they have some cute little gal who's somebody who looks to be about 20, who has come up with a way to genetically alter or hybridization, whatever you want to call it, the coral parents, because they're actually animals as well as plants, so that they are more resistant to heat. And that's the way we solve this problem. So I am ranting.
I mean, if you don't know, we have broken heat records pretty much almost every day this over 4th of July and July 5th. And the Earth's temperature isn't supposed to be that hot. And there are ways we're actually probably past the point of being able to do anything about it. So that movie, Don't Look Up, might want to watch it and look up and then try to do something about it. But I did hear in some of the news that I was listening to that animal agriculture was referenced. And
That's
I
good.
think that is good. And one of the ways animal ag has been referenced lately is with the synthetic meat,
Mhm.
which was I was asked if it was vegan. And I was like, it's vegan in the sense to me that it saves the animals and it saves the planet.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not vegan in the sense that it's meat. You'll still get your cancer from eating meat
Mhm.
because it has all the things that a-
You're right.
animal like food that comes from an animal has cholesterol, fat, it's all still there. It's just it starts with the cells, whatever it is, chicken egg cell or chicken cells, whatever it is, to get to the point where they're able to grow a chicken and that's where your meat comes from. I'm super thrilled about it because I need our planet to be saved and it could remove animal agriculture, which is the biggest cause of climate change on the
Mhm.
planet. If we remove that, granted, we will probably fuck things up in another way to cause
Mhm.
issues that make this planet still die. It's the only time I've ever been thankful to be older.
Mhm.
Only
Yeah.
time is to not have to see the planet implode, and
Mhm.
which is sadly for those of you on here, all of you on here but me who have children, they have to live through that. They're gonna have to live through a planet with heat that's unbearable, with lack of water,
Mhm.
storms that are there's tornadoes in Canada.
That's
They had
crazy.
an EF4 tornado. I wish Kelly was here to talk about that. An EF4 tornado in Canada
Mhm.
last week, recently. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. We have a tornado at like actually between the time that we last checked in with each other and now, like 15 minutes before we went live, we have a tornado warning here in Chicago. So, yeah, I mean, it's just this not normal. But one of the things that consume me, the thoughts that I just am constantly trying to uh, wrestle is what is ever going to be the magic combination of words, the magic events, the magic this or that that's going to get people to care enough to. And I think that like we're probably not helping if it's just doom and gloom because then people feel helpless and hopeless, you know? So, but it is real and it's happening, you know, we're seeing the effects of climate change in real time. Um no. So I don't know what it will take, if any. Like I kind of toggle between I have to have a little bit of optimism to get out of bed and keep trying to get through to people, but I don't know what it would take. It's probably like a combination of things, but it is very sad. It's just sad, you know.
I don't know what it'll take because I
Yeah.
guess your house being destroyed, but it has to be a lot of people's houses destroyed,
Yeah.
and then it has to be like every community and
Mhm.
or enough communities where people are
Right.
impacted. But I mean, I look at Florida.
Yeah. We have very short memories, right? Like, and short in the sense too of like, oh, that was last week. You know, like
Well, another story I heard today is that, farmers or one of the big insurance company another big insurance company
Yes,
pulling
pulled
out of
out of Florida.
and, when
wow,
that starts
I
happening,
don't
well,
blame
now
them.
we're talking NIMBY, not in my backyard. It is happening, and, you're hurting people where it hurts the most in their wallets, so maybe then they'll start listening, and, because I am stuck in a hotel room, I'm picking my news channel of choice of whatever is available here. It ain't
Mhm.
Fox. So, CNN, and they have been connecting the dots, anytime they can to animal
Mhm.
agriculture and that we need to be doing some things differently.
Mhm.
So maybe the dots will start getting connected. And, we didn't really talk about it. I am at the National Senior Games. I am a sponsored athlete by this company. It's the largest online platform of free classes for people over 55. And I teach vegan classes on it. I teach fitness classes on it. And I just, I wear my vegan headband when I compete. So, and people are coming up to me at not only, the national races, but locally saying, tell me more about this vegan, how do you do it? And why? And the word is definitely getting out there. And, I'll be taking my last gasping breath, maybe on a track. But, with that message, I mean, that's just, especially as you say, as if we have kids, what kind of planet are we leaving them?
Yeah.
Oh, Marla, do you know this? John said that a tornado passed within a half mile of your house within the last 15 minutes. It is reportedly moving downtown. Oh, downtown Chicago. Love when tornadoes go into big cities.
Good time.
It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So
no, I mean,
you guys aren't prepared for it. St. Louis is, but you guys aren't.
Right. Well, more and more, it's becoming a new normal here. Right. And that's the thing, is people adapt to normal very fast. Shockingly fast.
I mean, it's I don't know how you adapt to more tornadoes fast. I get the heat. I get adapting to the heat.
I mean, emotionally, just like, oh yeah, there's another like I can count on both hands or one hand the amount of tornadoes we saw here when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We had the tornado warnings at school, but actual like sightings, they didn't happen in urban areas,
Right. It's weird. I know that a tornado went through downtown Raleigh right before right before I moved here. About 60 tornadoes went through the area of one within a half mile of where I was going to live. And this it's indiscriminate. So like a house could be fine and the next house is just destroyed, and then the next house is fine.
Kind of bounces, right?
It's the strangest thing. It took years for these houses to be okay. And John's saying there's sirens were going off all around you. Did you hide? I mean, what did you guys do?
I mean, it's happening now.
Okay. Confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado on ground in Cook County. This was 12 minutes, updated 1 minute ago. National Weather Service urging residents to seek shelter immediately. Is confirmed large and extremely dangerous on the ground near Summit. The storm's moving north.
Oh yeah, that's very close to us.
30 miles per hour with debris.
This is my mood now. It's just like, what.
The tornado will be near Barron, Forest Park, Riverside, Stickney, and North Riverside around 6:30, near Cicero and Oak Park around 6:35.
Okay, cool.
Marla, do we need to sign you off?
I know. Do you need to go into the bathroom?
I think it passed by us already. It's brighter here, although that might be.
That doesn't mean anything for a tornado. Interesting topic. I would be in the closet. All 3 dogs, a cat, 2 humans. We'd be in the bedroom closet because that is the second, probably third safest place in my house for a tornado.
Well, the last thing I just want to say about it is our house is not brick. It's like a wooden, like this is the house that would go down. It's built in like 1890, and coming from 4th of July, when people are shooting firecrackers all over the place, it's just people make no sense. We make no sense. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, well, if you need to go and hunker down with pillows and your dog and cats and husband and son, please do. Sovereign, where are you? What city?
I won't state, just in case. But
what state? Can we do state? No?
It's not stating a state.
Not stating a state. Okay.
But I'm good.
All right.
There's no it's overcast here, but it's just been hot. Just extremely hot, more than normal, and rainy. But just to kind of touch base, Marla, if you need to go and seek shelter, like there'll always be other shows.
That's a topic. We need to talk about this topic tonight.
No, we're not trying to, we don't need Twister Part 3 or Part 2 or whatever. We're gonna, please, if you need to.
When
I'm just on our phone and be in the closet. You can still stream from your phone in the closet.
I'll be spinning around and up to, talking. So.
You will be holding the dog, though. I know that for
just
sure.
record it, though.
Right, exactly. You'd be really famous after that. All right, so I'll just segue us because there is no segue to our topic tonight. So, Beauty Without the Beast, which is a topic that Marla came up with. I don't even know how long ago, but she definitely came up with it, which is a great topic for us to discuss because, part of being vegan isn't just the food that you consume, it's the products that you use. And I'll start it out with a little bit of, wait, let me see. Oh, John's going to make sure you're okay. Grandma, if another one comes by with the immediate dangerous past. Okay, thanks, John. That's good. So they're in the same house, so John's watching out for Marla, even though Marla wants to be on the show. So being vegan means doing like your best, right? It doesn't mean that you don't go to the doctor and you don't do stupid things. You still have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, then who's out there to fight to like save our planet if we don't take care of ourselves? So when we say like cruelty free and Beauty Without the Beast and that type of thing, we don't mean that you can't take Tylenol. we don't mean that you go to the doctor and you say you need surgery, that you say no and don't do the surgery and don't give me anesthesia and stuff like that, because you're no good if you're not here and you have to do what's best. And we all have where we're at. Like some people will take Tylenol for a headache, some people will suffer through a headache, right? But, if you have to go get your tonsils out, you probably should get your tonsils out, and you should probably also go under anesthesia for that. And they probably won't do it. They won't do it without it. So those are things that I just want to put these little guidelines in there. So when we're talking about, these cruelty-free products, we're really talking about the stuff that you don't need to go and buy shampoo that's been tested on animals. There's a myriad of products out there that are cruelty-free. It's a matter of finding the one that is best for you. Now, this isn't the best topic for me, per se, because this is a great topic for Sovereign. Because I wear no makeup. I have my shampoo, my conditioner, my face wash, my soap. And obviously the stuff we use in the house. And we go even further because we have some allergies to preservatives. That has to be preservative free, so we're even more limited in what products we can use. But being cruelty free and the testing on animals and making sure the products are vegan is a priority for me. And I do my best to make sure that that's what's in the house. Is it perfect? No. I live with a man who wants his products to be what his products are, like deodorant, and he needs antiperspirant. He can't wear deodorant.
Aluminum in it, does it? Because that causes Alzheimer's.
It does, but he also doesn't want to stink and sweat, and he can comment on it because he's watching. So I'm not going to be the police to this person as to how he wants to like not stink up a room when he walks into it, because his deodorant doesn't work. So we have to live within our own boundaries and at the same time respect the person that we're with as well.
But Alzheimer's is no fun. My mom and grandma had it, and so that's when I first saw that the original study, and it's been controversial, but I've seen enough since then that links aluminum to Alzheimer's. There's enough doubt that just not worth it. Not worth it. There's other things.
Well,
but then if you have Alzheimer's, you won't care if you smell.
Well, that's a nice thing to put on your
relatives. About who is smelling.
Well, someone else might recognize the fact that they smell. They just might not recognize who they're stinking it up with.
Anyway.
But hey, if Steven's watching, then I agree. I mean, they work for me. So but then, everybody's body's different.
And besides that, vegans don't smell. That there is a lot of research and studies on that.
That is not true.
That is
That's absolutely not true. I know enough people I've been around that are vegan.
I have vegan children. Boys can get ripe. So, okay.
Well, you can shower like every couple of days. Yeah, maybe.
Oh no, it
I
is
know everyday showering. There's
every day. Every day. And I work out and shower every day, and I still. So I have to do like twice because I just sweat. And yeah, but bravo if you don't.
I had a workout today, let me tell you.
But
I don't know if we're detouring it or where we're
go
going.
for it. I mean, to talk about whatever you want. I mean, obviously we can go detailed into Ruby, into what products we use, right? Our favorite product. I mean, we can start it with like, what's your favorite shampoo? Or like, for you go into depths of makeup, and it's like for me. So
well, I think the concept of like beauty and the beauty without the beast is something that I was like thinking about because I wanted to start doing working on some things for TikTok in regards to doing like what a lot of us do, which is highlighting our favorite brands, ones that are cruelty free, and you'll see a lot of people that do that. But I wanted to do ones especially that are within my niche. And there are a lot of like small businesses. There was a lot of queer owned and ones of color, so by POC, that I use, and I don't go and like none of this is a plug for like I want free stuff. Like I spend my money, research the company, make sure that they're actually ethical or what they stand for. I don't care if you're all Black. If you have something and you are just using it for the purpose of I'm just going to do it because it's going to bring me in more customers, and then I find out that you are problematic, cough, cough, Jeffree Star and Kat Von D, I'm not going to support. As a matter of fact, speaking on the makeup aspect, Kat Von D, when I found out her backstory and like more about her and her anti-Semitic comments and anti-vax comments and just being so problematic because she was like, well, I'm half German, half Puerto Rican, meaning I can't be racist. I'm like, ciao. And so I went ahead and had bought a whole bunch of her products. I tossed them. Somebody was like, oh, just use them all. I'm like, no, I will take the loss. I can find somewhere else. And even though she sold she's no longer attached to the company, I still can't do it. I know that they just call it KVD. I'm like, you guys could have changed it. I know it's like K vegan something, but I still can't get behind it. Yes, I'm glad that she's gone. I'm glad that they have they have changed it, but there are still some products that they carry in their store that still have her edgier, iconic tattooing style. I'm just like, you guys can get rid of that. You guys can, it's still going to sell. Just, you can take it out of that packaging and put into other ones that you've made neutral. But I, as a person of color, have always had a problem finding particular brands for my skin tone. Being melanated means that it's just not you're brown or you're Black or you are caramel. No, it's like you have golden undertones, neutral undertones, cool undertones. It can be confusing. I was in high school and I had to mix like 3 different foundations just to try and get it, because either I was too red and I would stare at myself like I look like a brick, or I'm too washed out and gray and I'm like, this is just not working. I remember using MAC. MAC was fantastic. I used to live at Sephora. They didn't get tired of seeing me because I was, spending money. But at that point in time, MAC was like the only one that I knew that had the shade that worked for me. And I was using Black Opal, which is a Black owned company, which I didn't know at that time was actually, I think, cruelty free, but they never had my shade. So I will say that Black Opal is fantastic. I just had issues finding the right shade for myself, and I think they have expanded their line. But the line that I came across a few years ago that I've been completely obsessed with, and I have several products, is Juvia's Place. And I don't know if this can be shown there. So
What's it called?
Juvia's Place.
Okay.
And this is their I Am Magic foundation. Their shade range is from the fairest of the fair to the darkest of complexions, which is absolutely beautiful. I used to go through a lot of foundation. This is not even a pinky that you need for coverage. It is cruelty free and it is vegan. She is Nigerian American. Her line has been featured everywhere, and I'm really happy for her. There've been a lot of influencers that have, of course, done it. I'm just I'm not doing it because of them. I'm doing it because I have literally full coverage. It's fantastic. You can use a little, you can use that. Cruelty free, really great price point, about $22 for this, and this will last about a good 3 months, 4 months, if that. I also
everywhere kind of thing.
Sephora carries it, Ulta carries it, juviasplace.com. You can find it everywhere. That is the foundation. She does have also these. This is the powder foundation that she has.
Juvia's.
Yeah, Juvia's Place. She did a powder foundation. About the same price point. She does a lot of sales, so she always sells out really quickly. The other brand that I have, again, I live for her. So as you can see, it makes me happy because it's very cultural in the representation. This is her eyeshadow palettes, and I'm going to open it. Yes, it is used, so be prepared. But her shades are really pigmented, very pigmented, and it's great coverage. The other one that I have found, and I used to, but I stopped until I guess they went clean, some of their line. So CoverGirl.
Yeah, right. You can find that at Walgreens even.
You can find it everywhere. This is their loose powder in translucent that I use just to set. It's fantastic. I'm quite impressed with it because sometimes products can be very cakey, but this one is great for a light or a full. I don't go this is a typical everyday, in terms of face. I don't do full out unless, I'm possibly going out or I'm just I decide I want to. But the other one is if you're looking for something that's really good I'm sorry. My brain right now.
I was going to say something really quick while you are looking is, so CoverGirl evidently is not sold in China, correct? Because that seems to be a lot of the issue in that something can be quote unquote cruelty free, but not vegan.
Correct.
Can you explain a little of what that means? Because I think a lot of times people hear the word cruelty free and associate it with vegan. So can you explain it a little?
So the difference between if you're having a product like a makeup that's oh, well, this is cruelty free. It's not vegan at that point. That means that what they're using, it just means that they're not testing on animals, but what's used to make that product is not vegan. When you have where it's both vegan and cruelty free, you are guaranteed to have it be at least a high percentage of completely vegan products. And it is not tested on animals. You really have to you have a lot of people that, are well, at least it's not being tested on animals, which is a good thing. For those who are well, they're maybe not be vegan, but they want something that's they're not going to put on their face where there is any harm that's being done to animals. And I salute them for that. I really think that that's a big step. It's a big step because a lot of major companies that weren't even in that game are now, not necessarily joining because they're oh, there's a huge target market, so we're just going to make money. But a lot of their representations or people that they hire for some of their campaigns are themselves very conscious of that, or vegan or cruelty free themselves. And just because, go ahead.
Just real quick, I was going to say one of the complications sometimes is there are smaller, more niche brands that are owned by a parent company and not necessarily all that transparent, and you have to do some digging to find that. So like maybe the parent company is Estee Lauder that does sell in China. And if you sell in China, you have to agree that, doesn't mean that you necessarily will test on animals, but that you will agree that if your products are sold there, you will consent to it if necessary.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
And so like back in the 90s, while they were still independent, I was really into Aveda products. And they were, if not fully vegan, at least almost all vegan. And
yeah, they were.
Now they're bought out by Estee Lauder, I believe. That's the other thing that gets complicated, is it can be hard to keep track of who owns what specifically in the personal care products realm. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be ever changing. But Aveda is now, I'm on their email list, I guess. They send out a lot of messages about their vegan hair care, their vegan skincare, and that sort of thing. And I'm just kind of torn because I really appreciate that they're using the word vegan. I just don't know how entangled they are. Are they still owned by Estee Lauder? They're using the word vegan,
I just looked it up. Yeah.
I've gone to their salons forever because, being in TV, they told me I had to do certain things to my hair.
Right.
But anyway, and because they did use the V word I always thought that was a good thing. But while I'm mentioning that, because again, because I wanted to keep my job in TV, they wanted me to have highlights and color my hair, which I did. Long story short is I now have an autoimmune condition called vitiligo, which if you Google that one and search it up, can be caused by hair dye or stimulated, triggered by hair dye. There's also a genetic component. My dad had it as well, and I look just like him. So, but these things that, and I'm thinking, well, Veda's supposed to be cruelty free and they're doing everything right. But just because, and what I've learned is it's the dye, and you can do different things. You don't have to use hair dye. You can use tints, things that will last just as long.
Overtone is like pigmented conditions, right?
Well,
sorry, sovereign, yes.
No, speaking of hair coloring, so like common in the Black community, or the community that we used to do it, and I used to when I was like younger. I'm so glad that I stopped. So I used to relax my hair, so to chemically straighten it out. I don't anymore. If I ever wanted to have it where the fun of like trying different hairstyles is you can always do like clips, you can do wigs, you can do all that type of stuff. But even like with my little ones, speaking of hair coloring, when I worked at Hot Topic, even before then, Manic Panic was like go-to, and it still is to this day. There are some companies that actually produce, it's a hair coloring. It's almost like a clay. So it's like if you put it in, it's really creamy. It's like that color, but it will color the hair. So it will sit, and then you can rinse it out, but it's very vivid without damaging, without having to strip.
Overtone, I think, is.
There's another one. Overtone was like the starter, actually. But then there's another, it's a Black-owned company where it's really, really, really creamy, because for those of us who want like our hair to be like, the color of Helene's shirt or the color of, of Ellen's shirt, but we would have to bleach our hair, and that not only strips and dries and breaks it, but you're bleaching. It's affecting your cuticles, the follicles of your scalp. So it's not just, oh, it's my hair. No, it goes beyond that. It is seeping in. So they were able to do this where it is temporary, but it's vivid. So like my hair is black. I could use that, and my hair would be the color of your shirt, Helene. It's fantastic. I'd color the boys' hair. I'd use Manic Panic, and they loved it. Alma's hair was jet black, and Kenna's was this beautiful like dark red, and they were living their best life. So it's like finding those temporary colors. Also, for them, Arctic Fox is another one that is vegan and cruelty free. In dealing with like if you're wanting to color your hair, I found what I was looking for in like the makeup section too. And that is if a price point and it sells out. You'll find this on Amazon. I think that Ulta has it, but I don't remember how I came across it, but it's called Essence Lash. And they carry it at Ulta. This is like $5. This is phenomenal. This is literally fake eyelashes in a tube. Like it will extend. It is fantastic and it is cheap. Like I buy as many of these as I can.
What's it called?
It's Essence Lash. And Princess, it's a false lash effect mascara. It is vegan and cruelty free. It is phenomenal. They expanded and they have a super liner, so a super fine liner, which is also vegan and cruelty free.
So just to jump in, if it's vegan, it's cruelty free automatically.
Yes.
If it's cruelty free, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily vegan.
Correct.
I just want people to know that. Like if it says vegan on it, has a vegan V, whatever product it is, that it was not tested on animals. It is not. It is
right.
It is good to go for whatever you need. And I looked up Aveda on their site. It says discover how our 100% vegan formulas deliver healthier looking and feeling hair, no compromises. 100% vegan, Leaping Bunny approved, B Corp certified. So even though they're owned by Estee Lauder has left them alone.
So I mean, just like you said,
the thing is that the parent company would still benefit from your dollars to Aveda. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a tricky thing. It's a
tricky thing, but at the same time, if they see Aveda making all the money because of, it's like the companies that have the fake meats or plant-based milk. We at this point could not eat vegan without making our own if we based our purchases on parent companies.
You'd
be done at this point because every little company is no longer owned by that little company for the most part. It's some big company that, you know, like Dan One owning Follow Your Heart.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. Kudos for making that money by creating a product and selling out to the big corporation. And I'm not a huge fan of it. However, I do like the fact that if they see the money, they'll put the money into what's making money. And if that's the vegan stuff, then please go consume, go spend your money.
I think the pandemic also made some of these small quote unquote companies more willing to sort of say, like supply chain issues that they'd never experienced before, they can now sell in Europe in ways that they couldn't be. I understand, but it's hard. Yeah, none of us, we saw the writing on the wall all those years ago, like in the 90s when Silk soy milk was such a successful product and it got sold out, and it's just like we knew, it's going to be impossible unless you make everything from scratch at home to not have any kind of conflict with that,
Right. I mean,
but you do your best. You do. Yeah. One of the things I was just thinking about is back in the early days, there really was no dental floss that was vegan because they all had some sort of coating on it that might have. Were we going to be vegan and not floss our teeth? So. I mean, there just wasn't a product yet. So sometimes you have to make do.
Yeah. Speaking of teeth, so I love how
love show and tell
going all over the place and ran in this, but a lot of people, I mean, if you know, and it depends on how much or how in that you are, but toothpaste. So Desert Essence.
Yeah.
Okay. This is their coconut oil one. And just like you guys were saying, you're going to find on the back of it where it's going to say certified B and it'll say cruelty free and it'll have those on the back. This is a favorite. The kids use this brand too. Tom's was one that I was using all the time. before I came across Desert Essence. Both their price points are relatively the same in terms of the weight, or like which one has more. This one does, so it is worth the money. But they're very good products. And again, always do your research when it comes to it, because a company can say that they are, and they're not at all. In terms of soaps, I use.
Well, stop right before you go there. Toothpaste. I want to start with
Yes.
toothpaste.
Yeah.
I use Now Foods. Now has I love. See, I'm a pet. It's probably not surprising. I have to like what's put into my mouth, and Now has cinnamon, and I'm a big fan of cinnamon. Except for the fact that I have sensitive teeth, and the dentist is saying you have to use a sensitive toothpaste, which is not vegan, because it's probably tested on animals, because I'm using a corporate brand. However, if I don't, I have pain. But I compromised it in the sense of I only use that in the morning, and then at night I use my cinnamon toothpaste before I go to bed. And I have their mouthwash too, which is cinnamon as well. So it makes me very happy. But you can also, there's Bite, which is the little pills, I guess a pill. It's toothpaste in a pill shape that you just put into your mouth, you bite, and then you just, with a little bit of water, and then you start brushing, and it's toothpaste. And I used that for a little while. They changed their kid formula because I'm a baby and I like the kid one better than the adult. I don't like peppermint. I just don't like it. So, and I'm suffering through my sensitive toothpaste because it's that stupid flavor. They don't make this. I've looked, but the Bite stuff is actually really cool. And there's another brand, and there's like a vegan cocoa floss, I think it is. And Susan's here. Susan knows all about like a whole bunch of these. She has a floss that she uses that's vegan. And I just, it's so important that you brush your teeth and wash your teeth.
Thank you, Helene.
These things that are, and you can very easily find vegan and cruelty-free toothpaste and floss-ish stuff.
In all types of flavors, because I have sensitive teeth, like nerve-wise. The coconut oil one does not have a taste. So it's like using that in the morning. There is a neem one and a cinnamon one that I do use by Desert. That's really nice. Kenna has real sensitive teeth, like, the boys do, but, it's funny because Alma will be like, oh, look, it tastes good, and swallow. No, don't swallow it. Even though it is like safe to swallow in that case. But there's another brand, I think it's, because, typical me, I bought it when they had like the charcoal because the packaging was black. But I think it's fresh. I don't know if is it fresh? It's not fresh, but it's like the color, and then like a brown. It's like a bunny. The kids were using the I have to look it up and see, but it's another one. It was their charcoal toothpaste that was really good. Even though it is a warning that don't use that too often because it is very abrasive. So I would just switch out to using maybe like once or twice a month in terms of that, if I wanted to do like every 2 weeks to do like a really good buffing. But it can be definitely too harsh if used too often.
What does it taste like? Like, I'm not using charcoal. I think we've already established that's not something I would use. What does it taste like?
It doesn't have any taste. It's because it's charcoal and mint. And I use charcoal to cook with, like in some of my creations. So, there's no taste to it at all. Now, if you are going ahead and, eating a spoonful of just the charcoal powder, it's going to taste like powder with no taste. It's like the cinnamon challenge without the cinnamon. You just be coughing out black stuff. Aesthetically, it would be cool. But, we don't want you're not trying to, just don't do that. It doesn't taste, it doesn't have a taste. When they do it in toothpaste, they really just like add like spearmint or a mint to it, like a peppermint. It's just like literally it's the benefit of the cleaning. And then I think aesthetically for people, it is also really cool. But those who know about the benefits of charcoal as well, it does have like a little bit of an added benefit to your toothpaste. it's a detoxifier.
Right,
So
because the charcoal is good. Like if you're throwing up, say it's good. It's like you can take charcoal pills. It's supposed to. I mean, that's what I gave to my dog when my dog consumed when I
yeah,
consumed chocolate. He got charcoal because I mean that's to help with that. Now, a little funny anecdote story is I was throwing up and I was given charcoal pills and I was like still throwing up, and then when I threw up and it was black, I almost went to the hospital until I remembered that I took charcoal pills.
That was me the first time not throwing up, but the first time I ate a lot of beets and went to the bathroom afterwards. I was like, oh my God! I was so scared. I had no idea. I thankfully was with a nurse, and I was like, is this normal? And she was
yeah, those will definitely color stuff. So, and charcoal, just to kind of pinpoint on like activated charcoal, make sure that you're not taking any meds, because it will take it out of your body. Yeah, it detoxifies and cleanses out. So it does help for nausea. If you're taking any medications and you are pregnant, it's a no to consume. Because I am on medications for seizures, I make sure that if I'm brushing or anything like that, or even if I, when I do make things with like food grade, charcoal powder, I will consume that food more than likely like way later,
right.
not same time. So it could be as when the medication has like maybe passed itself out of the system. Yes, deactivated charcoal powder is what I do use for as food grade to cook with. Still, just because it's programmed to like, for me, I will wait, or I will do it in the morning, like maybe take a bite of my stuff or whatnot, and then wait. And then, since I'm an early riser anyway, and do that. But there's so many really good brands. There's some that are very, very, very expensive. And then you can make it yourself. You really can do that with, coconut oil or baking soda and water. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to save. And make it yourself if you're, wanting to have it be a certain flavor, if you're wanting to have it be a particular consistency. That's cost effective and still extremely, extremely, extremely beneficial and useful.
Right.
And
now, I just want to put this out there because people drank pneumonia during COVID.
Yeah.
Do not go buy charcoal at the store.
No.
Do not buy what you put in a barbecue and put it in your food.
No.
Just don't. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was grating it over my salad.
Don't buy pets.
And then lighting a match and go,
Yeah.
look at our flambe salad.
Don't watch this and then say, I'm going to go ahead and eat some charcoal briquettes and be like, oh, it's the same thing. No, because then we're going to be getting the bill for your hospitalization, and we'll be like,
no, we're not now because we didn't know. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, but
so far we've learned don't eat charcoal briquettes, and Helene said brushing your teeth is important. Good information. I was also going to just say real quick is a lot of times it's raining here again. It's really spooky out. In a beautiful way. I'm getting all the Halloween vibes going on. Anyway, Veg News is a really good source for certain things that are like vegan brands, vegan beauty brands at drugstore, beauty brands, or vegan beauty brands at Walgreens or CVS and that sort of thing. So like if you're looking for, yes, thank you. That you just go on there and just, use their search engine, CVS, cosmetics or whatever. You can find, like back in the day, I feel like I'm always like the old timers, like sitting on my little rocking chair back in the day. But honestly, all we had was Beauty Without Cruelty, which one I think BWC. And it was basically war paint. And then, like, for whatever reason, they added silk to one of their products, even though, like, the only people who were buying it were vegans. So it just made no sense. But there's just such an embarrassment of riches now,
Well, Chickpea Magazine is another one. Bright Zine out of the UK, but they have online as well. They're another great vegan publication. Yeah. And there are a lot of really cool blogs. There's a lot of just YouTubers, and I mean, so much more TikTokers that are. It's so much easier now to discover new brands and find brands and find any questions that you may have or concerns or knowing. A couple other ones that I will name drop. NYX is another good brand. They are vegan and cruelty free. When I was in, when I started wearing makeup, all right, here's where I go and say back in my time.
It's
Bring out the rocking chair, Sovereign.
It's the one that's still like the go-to. You can find it Wet and Wild. Yes. So
they had like a lip gloss, right?
Wet and Wild makes
Wet and Wild lip gloss.
They made a lip gloss. They make makeup. I wore their lipstick, burgundy, for days. They are still around. I think it's called LA Girl. It's still around. I've never used LA Girl.
That's at Walgreens. It's like a short name, and it just happens to be accidentally vegan, or maybe it's intentionally vegan, but it's just like the cheapest of the cheap brands, like Wet n Wild's category. But yeah.
Elf is
That's it. And there are people who go on and on about specific products that are so
primer.
cheap and so good. The lip liner?
Their primer, their brushes, their poreless primers, their setting powders, their eyeliners. You can walk into a CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens or whatever, and you will find almost all of their stuff like cleared out. I mean, their price point is fantastic, and their items are fantastic. Yes, you can have items that may be like $22 or $30, but I don't care who it is. There's so many makeup artists that use like major products, but they will swear to like Elf or NYX or other brands that they find because they're fantastic. And I've got a couple more other products, just a few. So I dropped Elf, I dropped NYX, Necromancy.
Yeah, they're from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
They're great. I'm wearing their lipstick now, even though
they're fantastic. They're vegan. They are a by POC, a run company. Ilamasca Cosmetics or Ilamasca Beauty does have some items that are also vegan and cruelty free. I was a very, very, very big user of their products, especially because I did a collaboration with them for Gods for Sophie. I'm not quite sure what happened, if there was a changeover or whatnot, but they've kind of changed their aesthetic or just their collection in general. They no longer do the work with Sophie Lancaster. I don't know if it's because Sophie's mom did pass away, but the foundation is still up and running. So I haven't used them in a few years, but they were another one that was really great. Another brand that is fantastic to use is Black Moon Cosmetics. Concrete Minerals, their shadows are fantastic. They're a small business, vegan and cruelty free. And then there's another one, like I Live for a Black Shadow, like a really, really, really black shadow that's strongly pigmented. And then this one here is like my favorite. This one is by Sovereign Beauty. This is mine. My line comes out at the end of the year. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And then my mascara too.
Is that going to be your brand then? Your name? Oh, that's so exciting.
So I've got some couple other things that are also going to be released, but it's going to be just fused like a small item release and then expand from there. So I'm super excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A little bright spot in the middle of stuff.
Well, tornadoes are flying around me. Do you have any opinions about? I think they used to be called the Lip Bar, but now just like TLB or something like that.
Okay.
It's Black owned, I believe, and all vegan, I believe.
Yes. So Lip Bar, when they did come out, I was extremely ecstatic about their products. I always look for, so key things that I look for to see like how how, not invested, but how well do you know your target audience, or how well are you doing this for your target audience? And if you're a brand that is by POC, I need to make sure that you are actually being able to service, because as a community, it is difficult. I specifically just went ahead and bought like their foundations, their powders, their lipsticks. There were some things that I did like, others that I didn't. And it was when they blew up or they came out and they were big, and that I didn't really, I was still on a search for other brands. I haven't used them in a while. I didn't even know that they changed over names. I didn't know anything about that.
I think they started moving more into like eyeshadows and stuff, so they didn't want to necessarily commit entirely to lipsticks.
Yeah, with a lot of brands, when they do come out, they normally will start like at the lip, because what is the most purchased thing? A lipstick, a lip gloss. Right now, liquid lip, like matte, those are like the go-to, because they just have way better coverage and their consistency. I will say that like this is like the NYX lingerie XXX, like theirs, and they're cheaper. I use Black Moon Cosmetics because their I think it was Abyss is like chef's kiss, but it is pricier now that since they've been around. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go with that one. And then Juvia's Place had one called Dudu. That's the name of the color, which is just the Igbo Nigerian name for black. And they decided to run a sale, and it sold out because they put it for $1. And I was like, I hate you. It was gone. And I was just like, no. So it's looking to come back in stock because it's fantastic. But while I'm waiting for and working really closely with the formulation of mine, they had to take it back because it was not dark at all. There are, those are like the staples now. So, I mean, I think then you can expand more in regards to where you can do it. And a lot of companies and beauty brands are really saying, okay, here's your 1, 2, and 3. See how this works. It is smarter. What I really love to do for Sovereign Beauty to do a foundation, I know that I was talking about it with my mom. I would love to, but it's something that will take time. And I don't want to just say, hey, look, here's a range. Have at it, people. And then nothing, people are just, not pleased with it. If I'm going to create it, I'm going to use it. Yeah.
It has to work.
They definitely have to work. And then one more thing before I just kind of silence myself, in terms of soaps, if people are looking for a natural soaps, my very favorite is just taking it back home from the motherland, and that's black soap, African black soap. There are several. The one that has gotten popular here within the United States, besides just the raw one, and you can get it anywhere, but you can go to, if you get it off of Amazon, just check the company, because a lot of stores are small owned business, and they just know that they're able to get to their audiences larger via Amazon. But please utilize Etsy first to find places. The one that's widely known that a lot of people know is called Dudu soap. They now have a fragrance-free version. It's not vegan, but it is cruelty-free. It has honey. That one does. And that's just something that has been traditionally. It's used globally, but you can just get straight up black soap in its raw form. And then charcoal soap is also really great to utilize. So that is, those are my favorite, ones that I use, my favorite companies. I'm sure I have a array of other lists, but these are ones that I have like readily available to share.
That's
you don't
awesome.
have to, you can do beauty without having to, risk or harm any creatures like that. Like your little familiar that walked across that I saw. So but you can, there's so much more available, from it being just a tint to just a day-to-day to just a dewy to just, how glam you want to go. From eyelashes, there's faux mink lashes out there now, and just so many things that you can do, and that's available for everybody who may have sensitivities, who may have any allergies, who may have any discolorations and hyperpigmentation. A lot of companies that are vegan and cruelty-free are taking that into consideration, because just because something might work for myself doesn't mean it's going to work necessarily for everybody. So, don't just go by someone's word. Don't, go by my word. You can do the research, but I swear by these brands, this is not a paid anything. I use these and I'm so happy to share.
That's awesome. Very
So
generous.
So going with like a small company that I found locally for, we haven't even touched on the fact that you don't have to use plastic bottles, is that you can buy your shampoo, conditioner, and stuff, and
Bars.
obviously soap bars, our shampoo and conditioner bars, and it's not easy to find one that works for you because there's so many, but I found a company called Solid Roots, and she's local to me here in North Carolina, but obviously she ships, and I'll tell you, it's the best. The shampoo bar and the conditioner bar for frizzy, leaning on the dry side hair, if my hair will go out if I'm left in humidity. And it's so easy, and it lasts forever because it's a
Nice.
shampoo bar and a conditioner bar, and the price point is comparable to buying a container it's plastic, and you don't have to. That's another thing to think of, because we're thinking of beauty without the beast. Part of that beast is not just the products that go into making it. Part of that beast is the impact it has after you finish using that product. What do you do with that plastic container? Where does it go? We know that recycling really isn't happening. So even though we feel better putting it into a recycle bin, it not all can, because the pump can't go in the recycle bin. It has to go into the garbage. So there are other things to think about besides the actual products that you're choosing. It's what modality are those products coming in? Like Sovereign has their toothpaste, but you can, like I said, you can do Bite and not have a tube of toothpaste. How far do you want to go? What works for you? But what products actually work is probably, to me, trumps what the product comes in, because I'm just not going to use a product that's crappy for me, my body, taste, or whatever it is, because it comes in a glass jar.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad it comes in a glass jar, but now I'm giving it away
Yeah.
because I don't like it. So that's the other problem that you have, because you can get deodorant in a glass jar, which, I mean, I bought deodorant. It's called, what's the name of my deodorant? I really like it. They changed their name though. Okay, I can look it up. But they have one that's in a container that's, compostable or whatever it is. And I hate it.
Uh-oh.
I only use it when I travel. And when I travel, I hate it. One, it takes like an act of strength to get the cover off. It just, and it's not like it's something where you can like bang it or put it under water, because it's deodorant. And I fight. And then the whole time I'm traveling, I don't put it back on because I don't want to go through that more than the first time. And I just hate it. And I feel terrible because I would much rather use that than a plastic container it's called Primal. I think it's called Primal. I have to look it up. I just hate it. And I guess I should write to them and let them know like how much I don't like the vessel they've chosen, but they also have a glass jar where you can just put your finger in, melt it in your fingers, then put it under your pits. It works the same way. Also, I'm not tactile, so I don't like things on my fingers. So that I've done it, but I find myself wanting the regular deodorant with the plastic container and using it because that's what works best for me, even though it's not the best choice for the planet. It's so hard. Here's Susan saying, most dental floss is not biodegradable, so I switched to bamboo that's refillable and has a metal container. Yes, Susan's dental floss actually works really well. She's let me try it. So,
what's the name of it?
Yeah, Susan, what's the name of it? She'll get to us.
Okay.
Yeah, Sovereign.
So glad that you talked about in terms of using products like soaps or shampoos in terms of their packaging. It's really important to find, especially with these companies, that their material is recyclable, that you're able to recycle them, that you're able to recycle. It is also good to have something that is like a 3-in-1 or like a 4-in-1. So I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but this is a soap. Okay, you see that? So this one is called Morning Dew, spelled MOURNING. It is a body wash, a shampoo, a softener. Like it's made of shea butter, coconut, and charcoal. So this is like the third bar that I have made because I have blown through all of them because it's fantastic. It is scented, but it's scented with like charcoal rose, and it's really the company that I utilize it for, which is called a functional oil, so it can be used all around and it is safe. The packaging that is looking to come out would be a bamboo tray. So it is a reusable tray that you can use when you want to set it, so it's going to be included. But then the packaging itself is a paper that does break down and is eco-friendly and biodegradable. That is something that is crucial. And when I did make this, I had the kids in mind as well, because going in trying to like using soaps, and they use body wash, but then it's like, you can't use it on your hair. You want something that's also very quick. It can be a lot. And to have something that is not going to cost that much, or actually has it where it can be multiple, is fantastic to use. And you're right. A lot of people, even if you're using something that has a plastic packaging, no one's going to gripe or attack, because sometimes what has worked for you or what you find that works, you're not going to find it in maybe another available type of packaging. The smart thing is just, being mindful. And if it is able to be recycled, that is fantastic. I do think that more coming up as we are looking at the planet heating up, and as you guys were talking about that, all I can think about was like the day after tomorrow and everything else, because I'm just like, people think movies are just movies and scripts. No, this is like showing you what the future is. I'm just waiting for War of the Worlds, and at this point I'm like, come on, aliens, I've had enough.
Here. I'm on your side. Team aliens, team orcas.
Yeah.
If they work together, yeah. Hey, so Sabra, are you saying that soap is one that your brand will be selling?
Yes, and I make it by hand, the molding and everything, and I've gone through several tests because, the TISM makes me very focused and repeat. But it's become my favorite. Yeah, and if you're on TikTok, everybody who has autism or ADHD, we're always like, there's a little bit of the TISM that we have. But I really, anything and everything that I've always done, I'm very conscious, and I've always looked at it from an outer perspective. Like, if I'm approaching it, or I would like it, is that same care being put into it? So I want to make sure that I'm delivering a product without just saying, it's not for a money grab. It's also thinking about who else is using it. So that's why a lot of things that I make, or a lot of things that I prepare, especially with the beauty line, is like, okay, I'm a person of color. Yes, that is crucial to me, but also I want it to be vegan. I do want it to be cruelty free. I want it to be highly pigmented. I bought shadows and pigment, like makeup, where it's like, oh, it looks great on a swatch, which was done by enhancing it via, what is it, Photoshop. And then you get it and it's just like chalk, or it's not the same thing. So,
and you don't want to create products that will go in, like where the packaging is going to go into a landfill that's going to or pollute the oceans, or
Also, Sovereign, for your soap that's going to have that bamboo tray, make a soap that doesn't come with it for when, like, I don't want the bamboo tray every time. Kind of like I buy my protein powder. I want to talk to my protein powder people and say, I don't want the scoop every time.
No, so like the first soap, so the first bar that's ordered comes with, as the free gift, comes with the tray. You don't have to order one every time. It will clearly state that,
Yeah.
you know, your first purchase, you will get this with your first purchase.
I mean, it's not bad because I could have 3 showers in the house, right? And I can want 3 trays. I just want when I get the next bar of soap to be able to like not have to get a tray
Right.
with it unless
No.
unless I need it, and then reduce the cost of getting the soap and subscriptions, the whole thing. I think that's amazing. I think what you're doing.
Oh,
is really
speaking of
cool.
all this, I should mention the Fanciful Fox company. They make beautiful soaps that are beautifully scented. I'm super sensitive to smells. They are vegan and cruelty free, and they actually have a physical shop in Brooklyn, I believe, somewhere in the New York area. And they just make and what is it? Meow Meow Tweet or something like that. They also make beautiful like skincare lotions and stuff like that. And I also wanted to mention
Yep.
Lush seems to continually go back to the drawing board and reduce waste. And they also have a bring back your old,
Yep, they do a fantastic recycle program. Like they're phenomenal. Their products too. Thank you so much for bringing up Lush because they have been a big favorite.
They donated so much stuff to us when we had Vegan Mania. I couldn't believe how accessible they were, but we had these swag bags for the first 100 people or whatever. And I contacted them and they got right back in touch with me. I was talking to someone. They gave us 500 or so pallets worth, like a big moving, like a big truck came to our house when we were getting ready for Vegan Mania with all of these, like I think they were unused Mother's Day boxes that they didn't sell early, like each of those was probably worth like $30 per. Yeah, but they were so generous and so kind and not asking for anything in return. And I said they will forever be my favorite. Not everything there is vegan, but they are getting closer all the time.
Yeah, they are getting closer. Favorite product from there is Lord of Misrule is everything.
What is it called?
Lord of Misrule.
Oh, yeah, that scent is beautiful.
It's a beautiful scent.
Parma scent it just makes
yes.
I love it.
Yes. Their Halloween stuff is awesome. Yes.
Okay, my stew crew.
All right, we're getting over.
We are way over. I had dinner, so I'm all good. I don't know what our topic is for next week, but I do believe that we should go into, and I hope Kelly can make it. I do believe our topic for next week should touch on climate, and we should do a whole show on it because it's just important. Time is running out, and it's important. And to me, climate trumps the animals, and it trumps health. It trumps it all. It is the top thing. It's the first thing I say to people when they say, "Why are you vegan?" I say for the planet, for the animals, and for people's health. For my health, other people's health, right? So,
sovereign shirt.
First thing awesome. Shirt. Vegan for the planet first.
Yes, I feel like that's something that we have to do. I don't care what the Bible says.
What?
I don't care what the Bible says. Is what Marla's shirt says.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I know we have to go, and I'm so sorry. Speaking of shirts and speaking of the planet, I want to do, in terms of beauty, a very shout out to Vegan Vampire Company, veganvampire.co, also Compassion Co. Small businesses, fantastic. Vegan Vampire, all their stuff is horror related, but it is all the message. We get out to our niche and target audience the ways that we can as vegans. We're spooky vegans, but we make sure that we're able to share whatever way we can, just spread the message. And so definitely shout out to Andy.
Yeah, Compassion Company. Shop small, support small, shop small business, shop local, and do what you can, right? I mean, that's
go away.
So right, or they will go away, and we see that a lot in a lot of cities. So if you have the money to spend, think about where you're spending it. and help and support these local small businesses. And when you come out to like a festival, like a Veg Fest, spend money,
Mm-hmm.
shop the vendors, not just the food vendors. I know you're going to eat food. I have no doubt about that. But there are a lot of other vendors. It's like 50-60% of the festival is not food. They're there to earn money too. So please, please, please. And Susan, thank you for watching and
Thank
being part
you.
of this. It's awesome.
And
All right.
Donna and Karen. There's a lot of good people out there.
Oh yes, and yeah, Renee and Repurposed Jewelry, which I'm guessing his name is Jewelry, which is actually really cool. If your name is Jules of some sort, that's a really cool name. We had a little emotions going on, so that's awesome. All right, so thank you, Ellen. Kick ass with your competition tomorrow, and thank you, Marla, and thank you, Sovereign, for the show and tell and everything. That's amazing. And thank you once again for joining us for the Vegan Stew. Like I said, next week we're going to we're going to talk climate. And if there's a show for you to share, a show for you to get everyone to watch, it's a show about climate and the importance of what's happening with it and what we need to do to try to fix it. And we really need Kelly to be part of that because she's part of Climate Healers. And if you don't know about Climate Healers, go to climatehealers.org and check that out because Celeste Rao is working on saving our planet. And he's got a lot of great information. So go to virtualvegeslive.com, enter a contest. We go to the contest tab, win one of 12 prize packs that we have available. Go to YouTube, go to Virtual Veg Fest, and go to the Vegan Stew on YouTube. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know that when we go live, you don't miss out on a show or anything else that we might do that goes live. Have a great night and be safe and be kind. Bye, everyone.